This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. You may have heard over the last couple of months that Rome has been trending. On TikTok, on other social media platforms, there's been a trend that is obviously being promoted because nothing goes viral unless they want it to. Otherwise, the entire truth about who these people are would come out. So they are using all of these trends and things that people think are popular to convince you that they're trending, to convince you that they're popular, so that you'll invest in looking at these things. And then, of course, the mind control will take over. And that's one of the things they're doing with Rome. You might have heard, like I said, that this has been trending. Why has it been trending? Well, they're telling you that Rome is trending. And they're saying that men are often thinking about the Roman Empire. This couldn't be further from the truth, of course. Now, wicked men are often thinking about the Roman Empire because that's exactly what they're building right now. Many of you may know that Rome at one point in time was a republic. And then what happened? Rome transitioned from a republic to an empire, right? Does that sound familiar? United States of America, a republic, even though they say democracy. This is a republic, okay? Transitioning into an empire. And in the empire, in Rome, Rome's wealthiest families were the ones who held power. They're the only ones who were allowed to hold political or religious offices. We're the wealthy, which we know pretty much means the wicked, because the only people wealthy, especially this day and age, are the wicked and the elites. Unless you define wealthy as just being able to afford to eat, which is perfectly fine. We're all wealthy. Those of us who have the Holy Spirit are the ones who are wealthy anyway. But as far as treasure on earth wealth, these people are the ones who plan on rebuilding the Roman Empire and are constantly pushing these thoughts into people's minds. So this is a subliminal way for them to promote the Roman Empire. And then they hear all these people out there who do not understand anything about Rome, right? We've seen them promote Rome and a lot of these HBO series, et cetera, just bringing back the idea of Rome. And, oh, Rome was great. Oh, why did Rome crumble? Oh, was Rome originally a republic that transitioned to an empire? Oh, they don't think at all. They're just like, that's trending and guys are thinking about Rome. No, they're not, but they want men to think about the Roman Empire. So this is a subliminal way, this is how the CIA operates, to plant seeds in your head. Because once people hear that this is trending, they're like, what is this thing about Rome? How often do you think about it? Then people were like, wait, I don't think about Rome. And like, haven't you heard all these men are thinking about Rome all day and night? They can't stop thinking about Rome. Then these people start looking into Rome. Then they start telling themselves that, oh, they're thinking about Rome. They want Rome too, because they don't have a clue on how to actually think and process thought on their own. And again, when you create a society of narcissists, which has been done by design, these people will not ask questions. They believe that the thoughts that they're having are all their own thoughts when they're not. They're fully programmed and being programmed. Let's take a look at this Roman Empire trend. And then, of course, I'll get into the Club of Rome, which also ties into this, and the carbon footprint and global enslavement, because all the stuff we hear about with the World Economic Forum, all these secret societies like the Club of Rome have their hand in all of it. It's just one giant satanic cabal, which is really what it is. But here's the stories, how that's trending on Good Morning America, Saturday Night Live. They're constantly talking about how men are just constantly obsessing over Rome, which couldn't be further from the truth. And again, the only ones thinking about Rome and obsessing over Rome are the wickeds who want to rebuild the Roman Empire.
A viral video that's sparking a lot of surprising conversation between men and women on TikTok. Take a look.
How many times, like a week, or just how many times in general, do you think about the Roman Empire?
Not a lot.
How often? Once every month?
Maybe 3 or 4 times a month.
You think about the Roman Empire once a week?
It has a lot of big, stories and lessons, within the Roman Empire of what to do and what not to do. So, yeah.
So you think?
I don't have time to dive into this. I have an answer for it. But, yeah, once a week. In just 24 hours, that post with the hashtag Roman Empire has gotten 6 million views, with women asking the men in their lives exactly how often they think about the Roman Empire.
How often do I think about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess technically every day.
Honestly, probably 2 to 3 times a day.
What?
I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times a week I think about it.
You're kidding.
What?
I don't even understand.
Do you guys think about the Roman Empire?
I do, every day.
Why?
Not every
what
day.
do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think this harkens back to, first of all, the movie Gladiator is in every guy's like top 5 favorite movies.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Right, so like Joe Rogan's
think
podcast is wildly popular, and there's this trend to have this modern understanding of sort of ancient philosophies like Stoicism. Cold plunging is a big thing right now. Keto. Looking for guidance and self-improvement, and it all harkens back to Marcus Aurelius. This is the Roman Empire.
Wait,
and
but
this is
I
a popular thing with men.
But you think about it sometimes if you're watching something or listening to something that triggers it. It seems as if some of these people are just thinking about it every day, just randomly.
On their own.
But I think it's become part of just sort of the new young man psyche.
Do you think about it at all?
How to better
I haven't thought about the Roman Empire since I took Latin.
Since the Roman Empire.
Exactly.
You haven't thought about it, yeah.
Next up, SNL. Thanks to TikTok, the women of the world just learned exactly how often men are thinking about the Roman Empire. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. And on this week's episode of SNL, guest host Jason Momoa and the cast sang an entire song about that. Take a look.
Just thinking about the Roman Empire, ancient Rome. 5 times a day, it pops into my dome, which reminds me they invented the dome. Just one of the reasons that I think about Rome.
He was born. He's a special little guy. I hand him to his daddy. He looks like he's gonna cry. And I know his heart is filled with
Rome, bring a tear to my eye. In the year double M, double X, triple I.
Very funny sketch.
So they show you that stuff, and then people out there think it's funny and it's quirky, and then they're like, oh yeah, I didn't know my neighbor was thinking about Rome. The wicked are the ones thinking about Rome. The Bill Gates of the world are thinking about Rome. Did you see what just occurred the last couple of years with enslavements, lockdowns, not being allowed to have a job if you didn't take their orders? That's the Roman Empire, but it's being rebuilt right in front of our eyes, and people don't realize it. Nobody wants to live in a Roman Empire except for them. But they're making it seem like, oh, it's very fascinating. A lot of people are just, oh, it's trending, right? So the story that's out there is, according to Know Your Meme, researchers, while researches the origins of internet trends and jokes, an Instagram user from Sweden first posted the question in a post on her story, told followers to ask the men in their lives the question and report back. She then shared the answers in a post. Then a Roman reenactor posed the question in a now viral Instagram reel. The trend soon took off, mainly on TikTok, where the hashtag Roman Empire has 1.3 billion views on the app. The belief is that men think about the Roman Empire far more than their female counterparts. And if you scroll through the Roman Empire videos on TikTok, that certainly seems to be the case. Of course it doesn't seem to be. They're telling you that this is the case. That's what this is. They're telling you that men are thinking more about the Roman Empire. Okay, if you walk around and look at our society, go to the mall, go to Walmart, go to Target, and look at the people around you, okay? Which, of course, the majority of these people are complete zombies. Most of them have blue hair. You know, you can identify their politics for how they dress and how they look, unfortunately, in today's society. But you could look around and you know these people aren't thinking about the Roman Empire. They don't even know anything about the Roman Empire. So they're making people subliminally start thinking about the Roman Empire. But the reality of it all is these same people who are censoring free speech, these same people who are following all these ideologies are actually, they are without knowing, wanting a Roman Empire because they want to tear down the Republic here in the United States of America. So these people, while maybe, while this is not really trending naturally, and while people aren't really sitting there thinking about the Roman Empire, all the seeds that they're planting in people's heads are to make them want the return of the Roman Empire, which is total enslavement. And of course, the wealthy, the Bill Gates of the world, will be the rulers over all of us. That's what they're trying to rebuild. And that's why I constantly, and I know other people do too, yell about communism, about Democrats in this country who don't have a clue what they're asking for. You see a lot of these people, they don't have a clue, but they're empowered. They think that they know what's going on. They don't know a thing. And it's going to be too late when they realize that we're enslaved again. Okay, not again, but I mean, throughout history, humanity has been enslaved and things have happened. Revolutions have happened and people have fought against it. This period of time, I don't see anybody fighting against it because now they've actually convinced people that they should want it, right? In other time periods, they didn't have the mind control methods like they have now. So back in the day, they were kind of forcing this on people. People were like, I had enough of this. Now they're mentally using mind control to convince these people that they want to be enslaved. And they don't even realize they're enslaved. It's this dystopian, absolute horror show that we're living in. So while all this is going on with the trend of the Roman Empire, it's a good time to mention the Club of Rome as well, because all the stuff going on with the carbon footprint goes back to the Club of Rome and these secret societies. Now, a lot of people don't really talk much about the Club of Rome. I think I've mentioned them here and there. throughout the years. I've never done specific videos on the Club of Rome, with a lot of focus going in the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg groups, obviously all the secret meetings or the meetings that they make public, which aren't really public meetings. The stuff they talk about on the surface are all fake. But, the G7, the Bohemian Grove, etc. But the Club of Rome, okay, has been around for quite some time. And they're the ones who are really pushing a lot of the stuff we see in our society as well. So we can always point a finger at Klaus Schwab, but this goes deeper. And if you go through the Club of Rome stuff, well, what are they pushing? Well, Earth for all, inequality, poverty, empowerment, food and energy, all the things that they're planning on convincing people of and controlling over people's lives, right? So people going into poverty, they're going into poverty because of them. Inequality only exists in the mind. Really, in reality, the inequality is the rich and the global elites versus all of us, but they're making it seem on our level that it's, oh, this person's black, they're oppressed. This person's likes the Hershey Highway, they're oppressed. And they go on and on and on and convince people that it's not an equal world when we already had a black president, we already have women CEOs all over the place. Okay, if anything, it's not equal in the opposite direction now, as far as it's not equal for people who didn't poison themselves with a magic potion. They took a lot of their rights away and their income away, et cetera, et cetera. So the whole thing is just upside down. But that's the Club of Rome for you.
The Club of Rome is a group of scientists, humanists, educators,
It's irritating that humanity has not listened to us, but they haven't.
The warning bells were there already 50 years ago. The big difference is that now we truly are in the midst of the crises.
We are much, much closer to potentially catastrophic outcomes.
Now we have a short opportunity where everything is up in the air.
We thought it was the time to now reassess to see what does science tell us today and how does the future look like the next 50 years.
We have to change the story. We have to provide a plausible, coherent, consistent, and also science-based and numbers-backed story that people find more attractive than business as usual. We have one scenario called too little, too late. And then the other one is where we succeed in putting all those possibilities together.
We are proposing 5 turnarounds paid for by the 10% richest people in the world.
If we put in place the 5 turnarounds that we talk about, the focusing on inequality, the focus on poverty, the focus on empowerment, and then food and energy as the 2 key resources that will keep us alive as we're faced with some of these ongoing crises, then we actually could get ourselves out of this mess.
And the interesting thing with these 5 turnarounds is that they can be scaled from communities to cities to sectors, nations, regions, and then globally. So that's what we were looking for, like a fractal set of fractals that escalate or percolate down from the global economic system all the way down to specific communities.
We need to start with redressing, making sure that the solution is fair, is perceived as fair by a democratic majority. Unless we do so, we won't get a solution.
It's critical we talk about poverty because the poorest in societies are the most vulnerable and face the biggest risks, as we can see with the flooding in Pakistan and we can see with the food crisis in sub-Saharan Africa. It's absolutely critical that we use this as an opportunity to spur sustainable economic development.
Currently, a large part of the world is materially, financially, economically insecure. And it is true when they're working, whether they're paid or unpaid, and it is true when they are not working. So a universal pension that guarantees affordable life is an essential part of this. So many women across the world, their lives are dominated by the unpaid work they do. If you want healthy, sustainable, viable societies, The importance of recognizing the contribution of women and the rights of women is absolutely essential. It is really about ensuring that the societies are sustainable, that social reproduction occurs, and it's about ensuring that the rights of half the world's population are met adequately. Women must be given the freedom to make their own life choices.
In the food system, we would see a rapid change towards more logistics that reduce the unnecessary food waste and food loss so that we have food security.
I'm absolutely convinced that the Ukraine war will help us to accelerate the transition away from oil, coal, and natural gas.
So we could see an energy democracy where local sources, microgrids, local areas don't have to rely so much on the global fossil energy system.
What we're facing is not an environmental crisis. It's a crisis of security, of stability, of prosperity and equity. And that's what Earth for All really brings forward.
So the overall object of the latest report is basically to continue the fight.
If sufficient mobilization occurs, and if the demand for major changes in economic strategy gets loud enough, then we can actually achieve a major turnaround.
I'm fairly optimistic that we are going to see a very, very rapid transformation. But the question is, will it be fast enough?
Now we need to come together and we need to share this image that a giant leap is truly possible.
That comes back to a series of different structural shifts that we will have to make across the globe in order to ensure that we have truly an Earth for all.
And of course, when it comes to the Club of Rome, the climate agenda is at the forefront, right? They talk about, because remember, these people come out and they talk about Earth for all, how to solve these, all these things that they're creating. Their ultimate goal, the Club of Rome, like the World Economic Forum, is to depopulate, okay? It is to rid the Earth of people like me and you, period, okay? And the only way they could do this without making it obvious, because if they started just blowing things up without fake narratives behind it, there'd be revolutions, right? So they keep us divided and they start destroying the Earth with all these things. They start turning on HAARP. They start manipulating the weather. They're not manipulating it the way that they say it. Of course, we know geoengineering. Nobody looks up at the sky and sees these fake, streaks. You wake up, like I recently just said, woke up, blue sky, an hour later, completely hazed, right? Completely hazed. And it starts where you see those vapors over the sky, but they know people aren't looking up all day and they rub it in our faces like the Netflix movie that just came out, Don't Look Up, right? I mean, the stuff that they do is unbelievable. And this is proof of that, right? This Rome trend is not a real trend. They've been hell-bent, and I've said this over the years, they're hell-bent on rebuilding the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire is run by the wealthiest, the most wicked. They're the ones who want this rebuilt. And they know that now the people can't rise up and destroy Rome like they did in the past because the people are weakened, dumber, and they've actually convinced people to want to be enslaved, and they don't even realize it, right? And then anybody who speaks against this, they try to censor because they don't want people to snap into a conscious state of mind to actually think and look at these things and perceive what's really going on. They want you to be asleep and then be like, oh, did you know men think about Rome 24/7? According to whom? TikTok? I mean, do you see how it works? They tell you that men are thinking about Rome 24/7. The wicked are thinking about Rome, but they want you to think about Rome because they want you to want to reenact Rome and relive Rome because that's exactly what they're doing. While they're destroying a republic in the United States of America right in front of our eyes, telling you it's a democracy when it's really a republic, and they're destroying it right in front of our faces. So that's why Rome is trending. It's trending by design. Like every single thing that they do, it's by design. Wicked men want to see Rome rebuilt. That's it, period. And they're doing it right in front of us because they're destroying our republic. So much so they've convinced people that it's not even a republic anymore. They don't even remember the Pledge of Allegiance. They've convinced them it's a democracy. They're destroying it. People don't realize the history of Rome, that it was a republic. It was demolished and turned into an empire. And the empire is run by the wicked. You know, it's run by the wealthiest people, the wealthiest families. Can you look around and see who these people are? The celebrities, the corporate, like the Jeff Bezoses of the world. Yeah, you want them. And of course, these people are so dumb that they actually do want to be run by them. They're like, oh my gosh, the president's going to be Kim Kardashian and Jeff Bezos. They're going to be the leaders and the rulers. They would love it Because their idol worship is so insane. Their mind control on them is so thick. They think that these people are just organically famous. They're placed in these positions to control your thoughts and your behavior. Why do you think our society has turned into a nightmare? They're influencing the behavior of the masses. And if everybody and every parent shut off the technology, kept their kids and their families away from these scumbags, then our society, if they were all raised on the Bible, we'd have a society of morals. We'd have a society of good people. We wouldn't have a society of people who are kind of trying to castrate their kids, okay? So Rome is trending. What a surprise, right? What an absolute joke. And don't ever forget about the Club of Rome when we talk about these wicked secret societies, these wicked organizations that, come out and they all spew the same thing, right? All these people are getting together because they care so much about the climate. All right, then you read all between the fine lines about depopulation and how it's people who are destroying the world and we need to kill people pretty much. And what do we need? We need, we have to survive inequality, right? Well, what do you think they're talking about? The inequality is going to be the poverty line, right? They're like, we got to stop inequality, poverty, and then we got to empower, we got to have food and energy. So they're telling you that they're going to create poverty, which they're doing. The inequality is between us and the rich, which are the Bezoses of the world, not your next door neighbor, because we're all going to be thrown into the same cesspool together. Then they're going to empower the dummies out there who think that this is a fair and balanced thing while their favorite celebrities are rich and throwing, fecal matter at us from their towers. And we're all fighting to eat it, so to speak, because there's going to be food rations and everything else where we're all in just a non-equal field. They're going to have all the weapons, everything. Right? Well, all these idiots who are empowered are trying to say, take people's weapons away, take people's right to defend themselves away, and give it all to the famous people out there, the rich people out there, the same ones who want to control your food and your energy source. You see how this stuff works? Very easy to see. It needs to be stopped. In other time periods, revolutions have started against the wicked. We're all hoping that would happen again. So Rome is trending, folks, not because men are thinking about it day and night. We know that the wicked are thinking about it day, night, afternoons, in between all of their rituals they're performing with young children. We know that, okay? But the rest of society is not. But they want you to start thinking like that because they're destroying the republic right in front of your eyes. I mean, this is sigil magic pretty much working in front of us. I thank everybody for being here. Reminder, if you haven't subbed to my backup channels, please do so now. I'm probably going to upload some content over there. Also, check out the website, what is the website? UprisingRevival.com. Can't keep track. I have a lot of great stuff over there. The forum is great, and I have an exclusive video going up today at some point about Elon Musk. They brought Elon Musk back in with the whole thing involving his favorite food, pizza, or I should say all of their favorite food. So they're making that trend again, obviously as a herding mechanism. So definitely check it out. Keep an eye on it over on the website. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you're all well. God bless you as always, and your families.